Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be going over an introduction to management. First, let's start with the definition. Management is the process of coordinating people and other resources to achieve the goals of an organization. Coordinating people and other resources to achieve goals of an organization can be done through four major functions, and though a manager will carry out many functions and wear many hats throughout their management position, they can be categorized in the following four basic functions of planning, organizing, leading and motivating, and controlling. Now, these functions are not usually scheduled or done in a necessary order, but instead they are often done at the same time, with managers performing many tasks simultaneously. Now, I know I just said that the four functions don't normally need to take place in a particular order, but planning is usually the first of the four to be done. Logically, as with any important task, planning is usually the first place to start. It is the same for management, since the three other functions rely on the planning being done first. At the most basic level of a definition, planning is essentially the establishment of organization goals and the definition of ways to achieve them. Planning can begin with the development of a mission statement, or just a mission. A company mission is really what its name implies, a statement of the company's mission. When creating a personal marketing plan, which is a great thing to do as you develop your career, this would be your mission statement instead, of course. But the mission statement is overall a declaration or a statement of the basic purpose the firm has that really differentiates it from other companies. After creating the mission statement, strategic planning can take place. Strategic planning is the process of creating goals and objectives and allocating the resources needed to achieve them. The second of the four basic functions is organizing the enterprise, and the organizing of the enterprise is the grouping of resources and activities to accomplish an end result in an efficient and effective manner. This is simply the delegation of responsibilities, tasks, and ideas to a group or individual after providing the necessary resources to carry out the tasks they've been given. This requires a deep understanding of the possibilities and potential that a personnel has, as well as the needed characteristics or skills for each task or position that you delegate. Leading and motivating, which is the third of the four basic functions. Leading and motivating deal with the human resources of a company, which are humans. Leading is the process of influencing people to work toward a common goal, and motivating them is the process of giving them reasons to work toward the best interests of the company. Controlling ongoing activities is really the process of evaluating and regulating activities that are continuously ongoing. This evaluation and regulation is done to ensure that goals are achieved throughout the company. There are three steps to the control function, which are setting standards, measuring actual performance, and taking corrective action. So the first step, of course, is the setting of standards to which performance can be measured against, then actually performing or measuring performance, and finally taking corrective action when necessary. And corrective action can be anything from a small reprimand to termination. Some managerial roles. There are many different roles that a manager plays, and 10 according to some research that the book mentions. They can be grouped into three broad categories, which are decisional roles, interpersonal roles, and informational roles. Now, a role is a set of expectations that one is expected to fulfill. So as a participant in a group study or a group assignment, your role will be assigned to you, as are to your other teammates. And this is a role that you are expected to do and expected to fulfill for the success of the overall group. And the same is for a manager's role. They are given roles so that they can help the success of a company. The first category, again, is decisional role. As the category title hints to, these are roles based on decision making. There are four specific managerial roles in this category, and they are the entrepreneur, the voluntary initiator of change, the disturbance handler, who may have to deal with things like a company strike, The resources allocator, where the manager decides which budgets to cut and which requests to approve. And lastly, the negotiator, where managers can settle disputes, confrontations, etc. In the interpersonal category, there are three main roles. The figurehead, who serves as the face or representative for an event or client meeting. The liaison, who serves as the intermediary between two groups. And lastly, the leader, who serves as an example for others in the organization, as well as a source of motivation and development of employees and their skills and abilities. The informational role is one in which the manager either gathers or provides information for others or for themselves, and they have the following roles that they can play. The role of monitor, where the manager actively seeks information that may be of value to the organization. The discriminator, who transmits key information to those who can use it. And lastly, the spokesperson, who provides information to people outside the organization, such as the press, the television, reporters, and the public. Now, this is also a role for public relations professionals, but a manager can also step in to offer information, especially if they are the one most knowledgeable on the subject. And from there, it just makes sense that in order to be an effective manager, you would need the following skills, which relate to the roles that we just went over. As a recent graduate or someone looking to enter into a management role, whether that be in human resources or other departments, having these skills will be a great benefit to you. The first are interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are those related to dealing with employees on a humanistic level and the ability to deal with others inside and outside of an organization. Examples can include knowing how to relate to others, understand needs, and overall being an empathetic manager who shows genuine compassion. An important skill needed to have to be an interpersonal manager is that of great communication, whether it be written or oral. The tone you use, the words you choose, and the way in which you present yourself can all affect the way people perceive you. What's that figure? 80% of communication is done through body language and not through the actual words that we use. So being aware of how you are perceived really shows that your interpersonal skills are being well developed and that you are an aware individual in general. Technical skills are also specific skills needed to accomplish a specialized activity. For example, a manager needs skills relevant to the group he manages and the department in which he performs his management roles. An example can be computer skills, though computer skills here can also mean just general computer skills in order to advance your career and really show that you are up to par with others in your applicant pool if you're interviewing for a position, is to be up to date on computer skills, know the technical requirements of the position, and to really share that you carry all of those requirements needed. Lastly are conceptual skills. These include the ability to think in abstract terms. They really allow a manager to see the big picture and understand how various components will work together in different business scenarios. These are usually more useful for top managers rather than middle management. One example of conceptual skills could be critical thinking. Critical thinking allows managers to identify problems correctly, generate reasonable alternatives, and select the best alternatives to solve problems. So that about wraps up our introduction to management. Thanks for your attention.